Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alisha Costanzo and I'm going to be playing with my Bookopoly board. So I'm going to do 10 rolls and I'm going to participate in 3 read-a-thons in June. So let's just get into it and I'll explain as we go. We are going to roll 10 times this month. I have roughly 13 books or prompts that I need to meet. This is going to be fun. Last month I had a lot of fun with the 12 and making them all fit, and I've almost finished them all too. It is May 20th and I've already read 10.5 books this month. 2 of them aren't even on my list for this, and I'm going to finish all of my prompts. I'm going to. And I'm going to be an empress with my emperor in Read-a-thon. Okay, let's start the 10 rolls because I'm babbling already. Roll number 1, 12. And you can see I have my Tina. That's where I landed last time. You should have read by now. And we have 12. So 1, 2, 3. Graphic novel. So roll number 1 is a graphic novel. I have a graphic novel. My choice is going to be Fables. Who is this by? I have no idea who it's by. Lots of people. Those people. So I'm going to be reading the first volume in Fables. I've had this recommended to me a lot. You can see I've even started it once a long time ago. I have a second up there, which is like the 9th or 10th in the chronicle, but I know that this is about a whole bunch of mythological or fairy tale creatures. The ones who don't look human are sent away, and the ones who do look human fit into society. It seems very noir, and I'm excited to actually get through it. So one of my physical TBR. This is also going to work for 2 of my prompts for Read-a-thons, which would be the Detect-a-thon to read a retelling, and for Make Your Myth Taker is going to be my quick read. Roll number 2, 7. Erotica, that actually works. So roll number 2 is erotica, and this works because I am going to be participating in the HEA-a-thon, so the Happily Ever After-a-thon, and I don't know if this will count as a Happily Ever After book, but I'm going to be reading book number 2. If you don't remember, I read book 1 last month, and it was a struggle to get through, but I still want to know what happens. So I actually got this on sale 99 cents. I paid $1 for it if it's 2 of my prompts. So yeah, we'll see how I feel after the second in the series. So it's good, but it's going to be my taboo book, which it very much is. And it's going to be my queen prompt because she is a queen. Great. Roll number 3. 8. Community Shelf. A book with a beautiful cover. Roll number 3 is a community chest, which is a beautiful cover, a book with a beautiful cover. And so this one I pulled from my library, and I will put it up here, but it's 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray, I believe it is. I just read her Defy the Stars first one last month, the month before, in April. I read it in April, and I liked it, and I can't get to her other books in that series, so I picked something else up by her that sounded good and similar, and we'll see if I like it. But this is also going to be my purple prompt for both the Detect-a-thon, Read-a-thon, and Make Your Own Myth Maker. They both have purple on them, so it's perfect. Roll number 4. 5. Steampunk. So roll number 4 is steampunk. My Bookopoly board seems to like steampunk, which is cool. I'm getting into it. And I actually have another book on my shelf. The Looking Glass Wars. This by Frank Bedor. My husband read these, the whole series. He liked them. I have been trying to find a reason to read them. I also have the audiobook on the library, and I think that's going to help me get through it, but this fits 2 more of my prompts. One is to have a map. When I looked it up, it had a map. Does it actually have one? Oh, so cute drawings in it. It shows how the cards from the soldiers. And there's the map. So, and also foiled cover, and it is foiled. So I got 2 prompts on this one, plus a book on my TBR, my physical one, which is always so nice. I was getting away from that. Roll number 5. 12. YA fantasy. So roll number 5 is a YA fantasy, and I looked this up prior to rolling, which is really helpful. But I need a highest rated on my Goodreads TBR, and that was Winter by Marissa Meyer, and that fits YA fantasy. Roll number 6, 8. Chance card. Ooh. Of course, I just read this last month actually, so I get to put this away, and I get to pick a new one. Beautiful Demons by Sarah Cannon. Awesome. Roll number 6, I'm losing count, is a chance card, and I got Beautiful Demons by Sarah Cannon. I have been watching her on Heart Breathings for more than a year now, and I got it box set while it was free, and obviously I wanted to read it because I put it in my chance cards for me to actually give it a try. So I'm gonna do it. It's technically on my TBR, although it's not physical. I have a lot of ebooks that I get for free that I need to read, and this is one of them. And I'm excited to actually try out her series that is sold 500,000 copies, I think. So yeah, and that's also going to fit a new to me prompt and a non-human prompt. So roll a number 7. 7. Nonfiction. Fuck. So roll number 7 is nonfiction. I have a lot of nonfiction on both my shelves and on my ebooks, and I don't know which one I want to read yet. I feel like I also have a lot on my wish list for my library, so when the time comes to read this book, to get to my nonfiction, I'll let y'all know on Instagram, because one of the prompts is to have a secret book, and since I don't know which one I want to read yet, I'm going to keep it a secret until I get there, because we'll both be in suspense until I figure it out. Alright, let's get on the next roll. Roll number 8. 3. Steampunk again. Roll number 8 is steampunk again. Now this made it a little challenging to fit the other prompts, but I figured out something that I had on my e-reader, my Kindle app, and that is The Last Necromancer. I'll put it up here, and it has a beautiful cover, and it's green, and it's steampunky, and I hope I like it. And it doesn't fit any of my other prompts other than I own it, so it's one of the ones I got for free, and I'm going to challenge myself to read those because I'm a BookBub whore. Anything that comes through free, I pretty much click on it. So yeah, steampunk. Roll number 9. 6. Horror. Roll number 9 is horror, and I struggled to figure this one out for a little while. Now, this is not the actual book, but just to show you reference about how big they are, because my copies are buried behind my snake right now. But I'm going to read Thirst Volume 1, this is number 3, which is essentially 3 books, the first 3 books in the Last Vampire series, which is what made me want to write about vampires to begin with. It was my first vampire story, my first real one, and I've even written a paper about it, so I'm going to reread the first 3, it's going to be a lot of pages, so that I can get to reading the new stuff, because he continued the series after he finished it when I was younger, so I'm excited about that. Oh my gosh. And this also fits my reread prompt for Make Your Myth Taker. I'll put the real cover up here so you guys can see the difference. They look very similar. And roll number 10. 2. Gothic. Alright, well this should be interesting. Let's go find some books, Alisha. And finally, roll number 10 is a Gothic. And I had this originally planned for a couple of read-a-thons, which was a dark cover and secrets in the book. And so, Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. I've had this for years. It's time to read it. It's a little chunkier than I remember it being, a little heavier than I remember it being, but I don't really have any idea what it's about. It opens with the cliche, she's not like other girls. It seems like she's not a lady, and I'm kind of into that kind of shit, so because I'm not a lady. So this is my last Bookopoly roll. I still have more books from my TBR though to meet my prompts. So the next one I have to read is my random TBR. So I'll put up here, I randomly generated the number and I got the program. I don't remember who it's by. I got a program. Here's the book. I really don't know much about it. It looks like it's a dystopia. I'm into it. It was on my TBR for Goodreads, and so that's what I'm going to be reading for my randomized book. And also, for a friend recommendation, I didn't solicit anybody's friend recommendation because I have on my shelf my dad's recommendation. Since he's a big reader too, and he loves this series, we've been watching the series on Amazon Prime, which is Bosch. Love watching that with him. So I'm going to give the first book a read since he let me borrow it, and he's going to be my friend recommendation book, Black Echo by Michael Connelly. I should also get that one off my shelf and I can actually see if I like that kind of book. I've never read detective books, but I like detective shows. Alright, 2 more on my list. My next one is Nightmares. This is also going to be from my library. I will put up the picture here, and that is... Am I getting that from my library? Or do I have that on my Kindle? No. I'll let you know here where I'm getting it from. And this is for the prompt to have night in the title, which go figure. I just read Night in May by Elie Wiesel, so could have saved that, but I'm glad I didn't though. I'm glad I finally got to read that book. And finally, for the Happily Ever After-a-thon, I am going to be reading one of the Curvy Heroine or Curvy Women Wanted, or for Curvy Heroine prompt. Curvy Women Wanted series is again in my library. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. Whichever one's available. This is the one I'm thinking of right now. I don't know. And I will also have to find a new to me author for the Happily Ever After-a-thon. That's not the same as the Sarah Cannon one. And I'm actually going to be doing this, picking from my Kindle app. And this is only about half of them, by the way, that I have on there. Because again, freebie core. Been collecting them for years and not reading them. So I'm going to pick like between 8 and 12 of these. Read the first chapter, and whichever one I like best is going to be my new author to me book for that. And so I don't know what it is yet, but we'll get there. Alright. I actually have a physical stack of books to put up here. And on top of that, let's put right on top of my face all of the ebooks I'm going to read this month. I don't know how many that amounts to, but it's a lot. And I'll let you guys know how that turns out. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see how I do. Let me know what you're reading. If you're participating in any of these read-a-thons, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.